I never understood this concept about, well, as long as you're just learning about the seven. Well, the seven tie into everything, Torah wise. I mean, it
They
depends on
absolutely.
how deep you want to take it, on what level and where you're looking from. You know what I mean?
Sure, they're going to tell you, oh, you can just study the Tanakh and what the Tanakh study shows about the seven laws. So what we have is a school of thinking where they take the most stringent view in halakha and apply it to the non-Jew. And so here it's like they're trying to explain this uh, source from the Miri where it's talking about if a non-Jew studies Torah, he's equal to a Kohen Gadol, and then he's going to explain to you, uh, how that works. Well, he's studying the part of the Torah that belongs to him, and that's how he becomes like a Kohen Gadol. But then that begs the whole question: well, what's the source or the sources that pertain to the seven laws? Now, right here, I believe it's right here in this page. I think it shows. I don't if it shows where the Rav Schwartz is sourcing the Zohar to teach us about how you don't study the Torah that don't pertain to you, but in his uh, in his example, he's proving that the Zohar obviously pertains uh, to the non-Jew in this particular instance, or he wouldn't be sourcing it to tell us about how to do or not to do something. Um, so, I mean, where do you draw the line at? Some people, some rabbis want to draw the line at anything. Some draw the line at nothing. It's like, I'll study anything you want. And then some of them, then there's a centrist view that says, kind of like, uh, if you have a question, then you can study. Then that question can be answered, and you can study the part of the sources that associate with that question. So you have three levels. You have the most stringent level that says that the Noahide cannot study Torah. You have the most lenient side that says you can study anything. It doesn't matter. And then you have this center view that says you can study what you have questions about or what you're doing. So if you're studying about the seven laws, or you're studying about something within that seven laws, and it goes into a Talmudic source, and you have a question about that source, then the rabbis can teach you about that source because you're asking questions about it. And so the idea, the way I was told, is that if you have three views, if you have a stringent view, a lenient view, and a moderate view, that rabbis always go with the moderate view. You will not hear this within certain Noahide rabbi circles. Uh, you'll never hear this. So the thing about it is, this is important to talk about for all these Noahides that are convinced they can't study Torah, uh, and they will debate you and argue with you till the bitter end over it. But I have never seen one that has not studied an outside source. I mean, I'm sure there may be
Well, I
some
mean,
purist somewhere, but I haven't seen that guy.
Well, if you're sourcing out of something that don't apply to me, then how can it apply? It
Well,
don't. You
they'll
know what I
tell
mean?
you can study the Rambam because the Rambam will tell you not to study Torah. That's their source to use to tell you not to study Torah. So they'll say you can study that, which is an outside source, but it's telling you not to study Torah. So that's that's okay to study. But if the Zohar was to tell us not to study Torah, they could say, "Oh, you can't study that." So
Yeah. I
it's
don't.
what it boils down to is who is taking the most stringent view and who is taking the most lenient view, and then who is taking this centrist view and saying, okay, these guys obviously have been exposed to it. I mean, you see behind me all of these Jewish books that are in English. So they wrote it in English, and now they're complaining about us learning it because they translated it into English. And I mean, these are translations from kosher sources that are and translators that translated it. And
Right.
so I remember Rabbi Sutton with his when he wrote the book Spiritual Technology, that he said that, hey, look, we've done translated all this into English. He said, now we're obligated to teach it correctly because you're having access to things and to information, and so we're obligated. Now you're going to run across these rabbis that they'll tell you, no, we're not obligated to do it. Whether it's in English or not, you're not supposed to do it, and we're not obligated to teach it correctly. Now that we've let the cat out of the bag.